Good afternoon everyone, I hope you're well. It's Jo here for my Wednesday craft video, and if you're new here, I make craft videos. I do 3 a week on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I do haul videos as well. If you've not subscribed and you like what you see, it'd be great if you could subscribe, if you give it a thumbs up, and if you leave a comment, I'll always reply. If you're returning, as always, my friends, thank you so much for coming back and showing your continued support. I love you all so much. Thank you. And let's get into today's video. So I wanted to make some hearts, and I thought what better than way to start by using the straws that I got from Poundland quite a while ago. I picked these up and I didn't know what I was going to do with them, and then I had this idea of making some hearts. So I'm also going to be using some scrap paper. I pulled out some of the blues that I had. I wasn't too sure which one I was going to use, but I picked it out of the first pad. Then you'll need some A4 white card, and I'm using a mixture of white acrylic paint with some of the metallic acrylic paint from Poundland. It's quite thin, the metallic paint, so I mixed the two together. And then I'm using a mixture of leaves and fake flowers that I pick up from my local market. And I pulled out a few things. I pulled out some pearl stickers, which I didn't end up using. These ones are from Poundland. They're 6mm. I used some of the pearl braids from Poundland and some of the pearl garland, which is the last bit that I've got. And then I pulled out these little wood plaques, but I didn't use any. And I pulled out a selection of ribbon, and in the end I just used the pearl garland. You'll also need a glue gun, a pair of tweezers, a pair of scissors, a ruler, a pen, and I think that's everything, guys. Oh, some wire cutters for the flowers. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some A4 white card, and I'm just going to fold it in half, and I'm going to cut out a heart shape. So I'm folding the card in half, and I'm going to cut with the side that's folded facing me, and I'm going to cut half a heart shape so that when we open it up, we'll have a full heart, and this will be the base for our straws. So when I cut mine, I cut it a little bit too big. I was just having a look to see if I liked the size of it, and I just decided to trim a little section off just to make it a little bit smaller. And then once you're happy with the shape of your heart as a template, I'm then going to get another piece of A4 white card, and I'm going to draw around this and cut it out so that I've got two that are exactly the same size. So I'm just using a pen to trace round, and then I've cut them both out. So they're exactly the same size, and now we can start to add the straws. If you're only making one, you'll need 1 pack of straws. If you're going to make 2, I used about 5 out of the second pack, so you'll need 2 packs. And all I'm going to do now is glue these to cover the heart. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the back of the straw. And these are paper ones, so environmental friendly. And now I'm just going to glue the straw next to it, but I want to make sure that the blue lines are nice and neat and not at different heights. So I'm just going to glue these and twist the straws until I get them to exactly how I want them. Like so. So all the lines match up, and I'm just going to continue to glue the straws until the heart is covered. My original plan was to cover the whole heart and then cut them out, but I ended up doing a few at a time and then cutting them just to make life a little bit easier. And I liked this effect so much that I actually went back to Poundland today and I brought some more in a darker blue, and I'm going to be using them in Friday's craft. So I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to trim off the excess of the straws. And they do bend a little bit when you start to cut them, but we're going to cover them up so you don't need to worry too much about the edges. And then I'm going to cut the bottoms off and completely carry on filling the hearts, and then cut them all the the strips down. So this is what they look like with the straws. I'm really happy with how they've turned out, and I've kept the longer bits that we cut off and probably use them in another craft at some point. I don't like throwing stuff away. And yeah, I'm just going to now paint the back of the hearts, and I already had some of this paint mixed from my beach houses that I made, well, my beach huts that I made in the previous video to this, and I'm just using it up. So I'm just going to paint the back, do 2 coats, let it dry, and then I'll be back. So the backs are nice and dry, and we can continue with working on the front. So I've picked the scrapbook paper that I wanted, and I want the dark section to be at the top. I've got 2 sheets, 1 for each heart, and all I'm going to do is turn it over and place my heart, and I'm just going to trace around the heart on the scrapbook paper. I'm going to do 1 for each heart. And then I'm just going to cut that out with a pair of scissors. So I've got my 2 hearts, and now we're going to measure the inside. So I want a 1 centimetre gap really from the edge. So I'm just going to use the ruler and a pen, and I'm just going to roughly mark every couple of inches where 1 centimetre is. And I'm going to do this on both hearts. Working my way around all the way. So these are my dots where my measurements are. And then once I've gone all the way around, I'm going to draw a line, a rough line to join up the dots, like so. And this is what we're going to cut out. So we basically want the edge, a 1 centimetre edge like this for each of our hearts. And this is just to hide all the edges of the straws. And I'm just going to glue that in place with the glue gun. So I just started at the bottom, placed it where I wanted it to be. And then once I was happy, I just lifted up the rest of the heart and worked from the centre at the top down to the bottom. Glued that bit in place, and then did exactly the same side on the same thing on the other side, and I did that with the other heart as well. So now that we've covered the edges of the straws, I'm going to add some of the pearl garland around the edge of the heart. I'm going to start in the centre at the top and work my way around. And I'm going to work my way until I get all the way around to where we started. And then really I should have done this after this next step, but I put 2 of the pearl braids in the centre at the front. I cut off the metal strips at the back. I always do this. And then I'm just adding some glue and using a pair of tweezers and pasting that in the centre. I wasn't going to add any more pearl garland, but after I did this, I decided actually I was going to add some more pearl garland. So I should have done this afterwards, but I managed to lift them up. So if you're going to add more garland, then lift up don't put the pearl embellishments on until you've added the rest of the pearls. So this is the bit I should have done first, but I just lifted it up and managed to get the pearls underneath. And now I'm going to put the pearls around the edge of the scrapbook paper that we glued in place. Again, using the glue gun. And with this, I'm just going to, every other pearl, add a little bit of glue and then hold it in place. And then once that's dried, miss a pearl and then add some more glue to the pearl after that one. And I'm just going to work my way around following the line of the scrapbook paper. And originally I was going to go all the way around, but then I started to have a look at the flowers that I was planning on using and realised that I didn't need to put the pearls at the bottom of the heart because I was going to have the blue flowers around the side. So I only went to this part and then I cut and just did the other side and then did exactly the same on the other heart. So I left out the bottom section of the heart. So my pills are all in place and now I'm going to start to add some of the leaves and flowers. So I'm just going to use 2 leaves to start off with. I'm just going to place one in the center at the bottom, like so, and then I'm going to add one of these blue flowers on each side following the shape of the heart. And I just glued them at the end, held them in place with some tweezers. Then I bent them the way that I wanted and then glued them at the top to keep them in place, like so. Then I added a white rose in the center. And then to finish off with the flowers, I just added 2 small white blossoms on the side of each side of the rose. And I'm doing exactly the same on each heart. And then to finish off, I'm going to add some of these sprigs of small leaves. I'm going to add 2 on each heart at the bottom. And then to finish off, I decided to add another 2 sprigs of these green leaves at the top of the rose, one on each side. And then to add the bit where we're going to hang it up, I've just cut a small section of pearl garland and I'm just going to glue the last 3 pearls to the last 3 pearls of the other side to create a little hoop. And then I'll do exactly the same for the other heart. And then I just glued these to the back of the heart at the top in the center. Like so, and did the other one. And then to finish off, I remembered I had some butterfly stickers, so I've just pulled them out and I got these from Poundland. This is the last pack that I've got. And I'm just going to use 1 butterfly for each of the hearts and I'm going to put it just above the rose. And then my hearts are finished. And here they are. So these are my 2 straw hanging heart decorations, and I'm really happy with how they come out. I think they look really nice and spring like and very colourful, and the butterflies just finish them off perfectly. I had so much fun making these, and I will see you tomorrow for my Poundland haul. Take care for now. Bye everybody.